Oops, I put going live. Is this going live?
These two are now look. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum. Peace. It's Nyla, Coach Nyla again.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace is Fatimah, Coach Fatimah.
We are having a good time at the Outstanding Personal Relationships Presents the Muslimah Influencer Summit 2020. We are like enjoying this, so we hope you guys are enjoying this summit. We are. We're having a great time. Learning so much good stuff. Even though there is I lost my train of thought. Yes, IG, Facebook, YouTube. Yes. So if you guys are brand new, just watching us right now and don't know what it is, we actually decided to put together. Here's the thing. 2020. It's called the Muslimah Influencer Summit 2020. 2020, we talk about it being the year of vision. You know, hindsight being 2020 vision, all that other good stuff. Yes. So we put together an event that is not only showcasing some visionaries, some amazing Muslimah influencers around the globe. It's just a great personal development tool.
Yes.
It's like we're talking about personal development. We're talking about health and fitness. We're talking about just a lot of different things, relationships, entrepreneurship. So yes, if you are just joining us, we had a wonderful speaker, author Zakia.
Yes.
We had Alia Kabir, journalist Alia Kabir, entrepreneur, and a clinical therapist, Estelle Rodriguez Jabril. And they brought it. Much good information, awesome information. We just heard from Estelle Rodriguez Jabril and some great information. Okay, first, if you guys have been joining us from the beginning of the summit, or if you've seen Estella's training, what did you get from the training? What was your favorite moments? What stuck out to you? One of my favorite parts of the interview, of course, when she was talking about setting boundaries and that exit plan, when you're talking to your family, or talking to family members that may still have some ill feelings at Harvard, but they love you and you can have some good time together. But then after a certain amount of time, it starts to go all the way left. I never thought that, because I have relatives, I have family that happens with, and I never thought to say, you know what, how long can we actually get together and talk and have a good time before some old, some old stuff gets stirred up.
How long can we talk till, and it's okay, before any drama. I love what she was saying about that, because we think we're obligated to talk to someone for hours and hours and hours and hours, and we're just not, so for her to say, half hour.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do a half hour.
Yeah. She said with her sister, she said, cut it off. She said, and she said her sister was like, no, stay on. We have so much fun, a good time. You want to leave on that good note.
Yeah.
One of our mentors say, what Brenda say, leave on a crescendo.
Yeah, leave on a crescendo.
You want to leave on that good note. So yeah. So if you guys are not registered, you want to make sure you register. You still can register for the summit. It's free. Register at outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/summit, because if you don't register, you're not going to be able to get your gifts. You're not going to be able to get the information that is being left by a lot of the speakers, in addition to being able to reach out to them. Like I said, we have some really great trainers, some great speakers that we've heard from this morning or today already. And they dropped some gems, some jewels, and You don't want to miss. You don't want to miss what's coming up next. You really don't. We have some great information for you. And yeah, so make sure you go to outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/summit to register. We will be shooting out an email before each presenter with their information, with a way to connect with them and all that other good stuff. So you want to make sure you do that. So another thing she talked about, Ms. Stella talked about that I loved was boundaries.
Yeah.
Knowing your boundaries and making sure you are clear with what they are and everything like that in the 9 steps to forgiveness.
Yeah. And she was talking about embracing your truth.
Yeah.
And what that looks like and letting go to the past. Stopping the blame game.
Yes, because she was saying, she was like, I was that person that I would be blaming. And when you pointing your fingers, and we hear that a lot. When you're pointing your finger at someone, you got 3 pointing back at you. We've heard that. And the interesting thing is that nobody wins in the blame game.
Right.
Like, no one wins. You constantly blaming people for certain things. And we're adults here.
Yeah.
In this summit, we're talking about taking charge of your life. We're talking about, yes, we said it's a year of vision, and we're talking about taking charge of your life, and being this strong, powerful woman. And when it comes down to it, if you're constantly blaming people for where you are right now or what you don't have or what, any type of lack that you have, and definitely saying this as a reminder to myself before anybody else, is that we give our power away.
Yeah, we do.
We give it to someone else, and as long as someone else hold the key and hold the power, then we don't have control over it. We don't have charge. We don't have this charge. And the thing is, if you heard what I said, when we give the power to someone else, when we give it, we always had it, but now we're giving it to someone else. So take control. We have to take control of our lives.
Yeah, she was talking about self-sabotage and that's and how we can move, how it won't allow us to move forward.
Right.
That was
yeah. I was a good self-saboteur.
Same.
Where, and then it's easy to say, well, the reason why is because I didn't want this to happen, or because such and such will be this way if I did this. Yeah. But you can't control other people.
No.
What other people going to do or think or say or feel, it is what it is. So even if you were true to you, they're still going to be them, you know? So don't be phony or fake or, lose yourself trying to please somebody else, because you can't control what pleases them. Only they can.
And she tied a few things into how you should honor yourself and the other person, and just honor everybody's individual journey. And that's so true, because we always look at, oftentimes, I won't say always, but oftentimes we'll just look at things one-dimensionally. If something is just happening to us without considering honoring someone else's journey or what's happened to them or their perspective.
Yeah.
And she gave some really good stories about her own personal struggles, within her family and with her father. And that just really hit home for me, because my father was set up in a similar kind of way, but different. So, and he was a master at self-sabotage. So, and he did that with his alcoholism. Very educated man, very decorated as far as education went in scholastics, but self-sabotage, he was king. And it was so interesting that a man that was at his funeral that wasn't Muslim said, the first thing he said was that he was the most complex, simple man I've ever met in my life. But that was because of that self-sabotage. It's like so smart mathematician, but just would derail his own greatness in a second, or his own health in a second. So when Estella went there, I mean, I really became emotional. And I don't pride myself on anything, but I'm not easily a person that easily shows emotion, that it involves tears. I know how to get angry and all that other stuff, but tears are not easy for me because it takes a lot for me to show my emotion, especially to an audience that, I don't know everybody in the audience, but I didn't care. She was talking about fathers and, self-sabotage and healing the past.
That I loved a lot because
Took me out.
That was really deep. And my thing is, I'm looking into the 9 steps to forgiveness. Because here's the thing, guys, we are human. Mm-hmm. There are things that how do the best become the best, and how do they stay that way? They have coaches. Yeah. They have these coaches out there. They're constantly improving. They're constantly getting better. So if I want to improve on myself, if I want to get better, if these are certain things, it will be foolish for me to say, I know it all, or I got it together, right. Or, I got this. And internally I'm falling apart.
Right.
So the thing is, I know that I have forgiveness issues. That is real, and so
I can get a little grudgeful.
Yeah. So to be able to get this information from this sister was so needed. It was so needed for me. So I'm really hoping that you guys got some really good information and you were able to take great notes. And we have ours. And make sure you are registered at outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/summit so you can get the email, so you can get the updates, so you can also stay connected with our speakers who presented and who will be presenting.
Right.
Because that forgiveness thing was really great. Yeah. And I said, you know what? I'm going to sign up for that 9 steps to forgiveness.
Yeah,
because
we both decided we were going to take her course because it's necessary. And I think we feel like we don't need to forgive. And, sometimes we may victimize ourselves and we'll go, well, I don't need to forgive them. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. So I'm good.
It's a wrap.
And for Estella to put it in terms of your forgiveness is not even about them.
Right.
It's not about them. It's about you. And I do feel that if you have this thing where even if you don't even think that is something you're holding on to or that you're harboring on, it shows up in other places in your life.
It'll show up in your parenting, all types of stuff.
And things that you don't want it to show up in. Like you try to be the best of this, and then this thing that you didn't do or that you didn't, and everything you are and everything. No, it's not that. It's the whole thing of just you know what? It was what it was. You were who you are, or you are who you are, or you were who you were, or whatever the case may be, and bam,
you move on.
The
3 areas of acceptance, and that's what you were saying about complaining, blaming, and emotional intelligence.
Love it.
It just was something that I was not good at. I was good at some of them, and that's not a good thing. Complaining. But to call yourself out on your own stuff and then heal, be active in your healing is important because then you're showing that there's an issue that needs to be handled. And it's okay because we don't want this stuff to just grow and grow and grow. And like you were saying, coaches, I remember Ilanya was saying that years ago that she felt like a hypocrite because she wasn't implementing the things she was teaching in her life. And she was going through some of these things of complaining and blaming. And it's funny, when she had her breakthrough with Oprah that day on the show, she took accountability for her behavior. And then now you see where she is now, but that couldn't have happened if she hadn't took accountability for her behavior and called herself out on her stuff and healed the past and then moved forward from it. That was what it was. And now she's just, what does she have now? Ilanya Fix My Life. And then on IG, she has Living Beyond the Virus series and Spiritual Spa to help people at home because we're all under these new restrictions. So this is just really, really needed work, So I'm so glad you guys are here. And make sure you let us know where you're from.
Yes.
So we can, assalamu alaikum.
Yeah,
Yes, it was great. The tip about setting a time limit when engaging with challenging relationships that you will want to keep connection with. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Yes, that stuck
right
out
there
so much to me because I have a sister that I love. I have to put her on blast. But I love her so much. But she can be she can be something else, and that's that part where it's like we can have a great time. Like the children, they see the awesome TT, like she's fun and funny. The person that I grew up with for the most part, that we grew up together, but there's some things and some different challenges and some stuff. And going through Estella's information and her training actually helped me see some things that could have caused this change or this shift between my sister and I. Now we're still good, we're cordial with some things, but it's this time limit that once that limit is reached, it's this other side that comes out. And it's, seriously, to me, it's the other side, almost like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And, but I started to go back and like, oh, this could be this, it could be this thing. And the forgiving part and the forgiving part I also got from that is being one to be forgiven, I guess, in a way. Like, remember when she was talking about the apologizing to her children or, and everything, or to her son or something along the lines that actually apologizing to her children. And I was like, oh, is this, a type of thing? Because like my mom did it to me, like she apologized to me, which I was like, woman, I'm like, because I look at the stuff that she went through and, being a teen mom and different stuff like that. Yeah. And I said, for her to be able to do those things, going to foster care, a lot of different stuff. And being able to do the things that she's done and to raise me as the person, I can say, not to toot my own horn, but I feel like our playing small does not serve the world. Right. So if you are great and you are doing great things, just celebrate that greatness and that you are doing great things. So a lot of the things that I've gotten was a little foundation of certain things that she's instilled in me. Now, there are some things that I've gotten because it was some things that I didn't want to repeat as well. But there were some things that she instilled, and it was like this thing. So when she came to me with that, I was like, oh my gosh, Ma, whatever you felt you've done, whatever, you don't have to worry about having to apologize to me for it, because I realize these different things. I'm an adult now, so I can look at things in a mature type of way that, there are a lot of things that you've done that caused me to be the person that I am, and I think it's, and whether it was good or bad, or people can look at it, even if it's some, any type of things that could look tragic or hurtful or harmful, it's the lessons behind it. Exactly. And I was able to learn the lessons from those things. So I asked Estella, like, is that just a thing that we do as parents? I remember. Like, do we just apologize? Because I did it with my son. Yeah. So, and it was before I even her doing that, and before my mom did it to me. So I was like, whoa. And she was like, no, just certain things that I guess we internalize and we say, you know what? We are not perfect. So we are not perfect. We make mistakes. It's these different things. And, getting it out of the mindset of that, you don't have to apologize to your kids, or you don't have to, you're the parent, they're the child, so it is whatever. So, right, this type of thing, like you can't do wrong or whatever when it comes to your children or your child. That was like a really beautiful thing. That was like a deep thing.
It ties into when she said, allow your wounds to heal and shift your energy.
Yes.
You know, that was because that's what you're doing when you allow your wounds to heal, and there's a shift.
I'm sorry. It was so good. I don't know why when you said that, it made me think of what is that? One of my favorite movies.
Turbo.
No, the Turbo.
Gear shifting
with the panda, Kung Fu Panda.
Oh,
the second one where he was he was like scars heal or something.
Scars heal.
He was not scars. He's like scars don't heal, wounds heal or something. He's like, well, yeah, that's true. What do wounds do? He's like, I guess they fade. No, he said scars. Yeah, he said scars. He said, what do scars do? They fade, I guess. So it was just funny when you said that.
Watch Kung Fu Panda, y'all.
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda too. In addition to this, because
I know what you're talking
that part, because I was like, I don't care what scars do, but yes, but you know what? Interesting enough, it does tie into what we're talking about because this peacock. Wait, was it a peacock?
This peacock girl, I will remember. I love the peacock.
He had this grudge.
Yes.
The whole time. And he was like, because someone told him, the soothsayer or whatever, told him that you are going to be defeated by something in black, whatever, a warrior in black and white, black and white. So he tried to get rid of all the pandas.
Get rid of the whole tribe.
Everybody, but realized that it was another panda that was, that he didn't get rid of. So it's deep. But it made me think of, because he really, because he still had this thing. And he was like, I destroyed your family. I did this stuff, blah, blah, blah. How did you find inner peace?
But where did they get the information from for the movie? From the people, from what we do. So the content for these movies for children to teach them something is because the adults have acted this way, or the youth or the teenager has acted this way. But she used that word, allow your wounds to heal. Because sometimes we sit there and, no, I'm going to sit in this. I'm going to be a victim. Because we talk a lot about dehumanizing and all this stuff, but what about us humanizing ourselves and go, okay, we're vulnerable, I'm hurting, I need to allow myself to heal or fix this. Or get active in it and fix it and work it out and move on. Because we talk about this too, and we know, and Muslims know, you're going to be dead forever once you're gone. This is all temporary. So fix. We had talked before, you and I had talked before, and I was saying at one of our family meetings, one of the things I was grateful for was reconnecting with a friend. Because I was listening to something, I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was the Women of Impact or what it was. And it said, if you have issues in relationships, whether your friends, your children, anything like that, fix it. Yeah. So I said, I don't need to wait on this person to reach out to me. I can reach out to her, ask her how she's doing under these new restrictions. How is she and her children, her grandbaby doing? And it just started off like that. Fixed. Like nothing happened. But if I didn't go, okay, you could have done this better initially. She already said she could have did it better initially, and she didn't have to say that. I had to own my part in it. So I was like, oh, this is stupid. So I text her, and I said, after this restriction is over, this is what we're going to eat. And I sent her a picture of what I was eating for dinner that day. And she was like, sign me up. So it was, if it wasn't for not sitting there waiting for somebody to say, okay, Fatima, now you can talk to her. Nobody's going to do that unless it's like, me and my co-ed, and I tell her the whole entire scenario, then she might say, well, but you got to have that kind of person in front of you to get that information. This can be fixed if you just And I said, well, now at this age, I really need to let myself know it's okay to fix things that are, messed up, or I didn't communicate properly, or give people clarity. Because sometimes I come up with some muddled thinking, and I go, I texted that. Because sometimes I'll text any one of my family members above the age of 18, and they'll go, you got to read that back to me. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. And then I'll go, ooh, that was muddled and demented. I mean, I'll get forgetful and I'll go, let me give you some clarity on what I meant, because it sounded crazy, it sounded slick, it sounded short, it sounded all types of things. And I might have my hand stuck in the drain somewhere and I'm giving you a short text, but because of things I've said or done in the past, they're going up in short. Up, she's acting up. But yeah, that word allow the wounds to heal. And we don't know how long that'll take. Just let them run their natural, organic course, but get after and do some work.
Oh, I love that.
Inshallah.
That is so good.
Alhamdulillah. If I hadn't screwed up, I wouldn't. I was regurgitating my screw up, but Estelle Rodriguez Jabril helped me with that.
Yes, she brought some really good points and some things to light.
Yeah,
it's like, you know what, this is okay. I have some work to do.
Yeah,
I got some work
to do.
Yep. So yeah, we talked about that, the allowing, and then and that's that part. The taking charge is allowing us to heal. It's allowing others to influence us or whatever. It's a lot of the things when that's been the theme, taking charge or, having control over these things. And it comes with the allowance of things. So you can allow it to change you for the better. You can allow it to change you for the worse. But when it comes to being, strong women of power, women of presence, women of vision, it's about being better. It's about allowing the good, and that comes with healing. We all have our traumatic moments or, our downs and things like that. I remember, I think it was The Secret. I think that was the show or the video or the documentary or something, where I think it was Jack Canfield. He was like, that's called issues and our problems and our things. These are things that do connect us. It connect us in these ways, but sometimes we definitely gotta look at it as if we're having issues, we have to look at that part that is like, okay, there's some issues. That awareness part that you were talking about, being aware of it. They say that's one of the things, like the 12 step. The first step is awareness. Because that's big. That's the big, being aware, and then taking the steps and finding the help and seeking it out. I'm not going to say it's not going to fall into your lap, because this could have possibly fell into your lap. However, I'm pretty sure you did some work to get there. I'm pretty sure that you may have followed us on social media. If you haven't, Outstanding Personal Relationships is our YouTube, and Outstanding Personal Relationships is our Facebook, and Outstanding Relationships is our Instagram. So make sure you connect with us. We are having a great time with this summit.
A wonderful time. And learning a lot. Coaches learn too. we stay in personal development, and it's about consistency. So send your questions, y'all. Okay. No, it's not.
I was trying to see. Okay. We're trying to look. Okay. She has to be my eyes right now, because
my eyesight is 20/20.
Eyesight is 20/20. Mine is not. So I'm trying to find out what's going on. So yes. So we still have some great information for you guys, and we have a few more speakers.
We do.
We have Fit Muslimah Mubaraka Ibrahim. She's coming up next. And then you have us, your coaches in relationship and lifestyle. So yes, we will be with you guys a little bit later. Yeah. But we're going to so make sure you tune in, and make sure you have something to write with. Okay.
And write on.
I'm going to keep reiterating this, and just for the people who've been with us throughout the summit, and these are the people who are new to the summit. Make sure you have something to write with, because you don't want to miss the information. As we stated before, it's best to trust a short pencil over a long memory any day. because your memory can fade no matter how long it is.
Yeah.
So make sure you do that. So yes, we have Fit Muslimah Mubarak Ibrahim with us later on, and we're going to be talking about relationships. We're going to talk about polygyny. We're going to talk about co-wife connections. So yes, I'm going to talk about, we're not going to spoil it for you guys, but we're going to talk about these questions and misconceptions. And we're also going to talk about conflict to cooperation when it comes to co-wives. Yes. So we have some chat, some stuff in the chat.
Yes, learning a lot. Many jewels being dropped. Yes, alhamdulillah. We do have videos on our YouTube channel about polygyny and marriage, and just check us out on our YouTube channel. So some of these things that you would like us to do videos about, we've done them. We've done them. We've answered a lot of questions, and tune into when we come up later.
Yes.
And we talk about relationships and especially polygyny, and give you some really, really great tips and content, and some drops of gems, and our RMIC.
Yes. So those who are
that.
I was going to say some of those are following us, but now I totally lost my train of thought. But because the RMIC is the Relationship Mastery Inner Circle, and I'm super excited about this, so I totally lost my train of thought about telling those who are following us, telling them something. So when it comes back, I'm going to let you guys know.
Yeah.
But yes, Relationship Mastery Inner Circle, our monthly program that we deep dive into. Pretty much you taking control of things, your life, relationships. We talk about polygyny. We talk about health. We talk about parenting, co-parenting,
communication,
business, income, financial things, all of that other good stuff. And we go deep into it because, we also give you guys challenges. I give our members challenges. We give them worksheets. I mean, because it's about becoming better, And I think that when it comes to becoming better, you have to challenge yourself. You have to get out of your comfort zone. I don't think, what is that? They actually said that. It's like, something on the lines of like success doesn't live in your comfort zone, or something on the lines of that. I totally keep forgetting the quote. I keep botching the quote. But it's about, pretty much stepping out of your comfort zone. It's about stretching yourself. It's about, doing these different things to get better.
Right.
Think about building a muscle. You have to tear it in order to build it. So it's these different things. And it's a lot of stuff I'm thinking of, no pain, no gain, all types of different stuff that's going on in my head about different things. And not that everything has to be painful. It's just all challenges don't have to be painful, but it should be able to stretch you and allow you to grow. Think about that. You stretch, you grow. And sometimes that growth creates growing pains. See, I mean, these things, we know this, but, just give us some reminders. So we definitely got to stretch in order to grow. And a Relationship Mastery Inner Circle, RMIC, our members give us permission to stretch them, to allow them to grow in these areas of their lives. And we're super excited about it. So you guys want to find out more information about it, definitely check us out. outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/RM for relationship mastery. So
all right, y'all.
So
let's see.
I saw some more, but I don't know.
Yes, learning a lot. Many jewels being dropped. Yeah, absolutely. And we're learning with you all.
So we're going to recap a little bit too, because we talked about those who are just joining us. We gave you guys some insight on our last speaker, our last presenter, Estella Rodriguez Jabril, which is some amazing stuff. Before we spoke with Alia Kabir, she really brought it. She works right now. She has the Muslimah Rock brand, and it's some really good information about young Muslimas, and, and young could mean anything to us.
Yeah.
We know that. We're going to say we young.
Yeah.
But young Muslimas on just pretty much how to hold on to their identity and,
She's
pretty much
big
take
on
charge.
mentorship.
Very big on mentorship.
mentorship.
Because if you guys realize, and we've seen it so often, even, I mean, I can vouch for this just personally, but growing up, as a young woman, growing up as a girl, it can be very difficult because you have so many things in the media telling you what you should look like, what you should be, how you should dress, how you should act, what you should say, what you shouldn't say,
You should wear your hair.
how you should wear your hair, how, thick your eyelash and long your eyelashes should look, and all this other stuff. So when it comes down to it, we want to make sure that we are giving girls, young women, the right information, and also the more mature women, the right information. So if they do have daughters, so the women and the young women around us are watching us.
Yeah, they are. They want that support system from us. They want us to be that support for them.
So if we're doing things that we shouldn't be doing, we can't tell them not to do the things and expect them to not do them, because that's the hypocritical part that's saying, do what I say, not as I do. And usually people do the things that they mirror match people. So they'll start to do things that people are doing, not what they're saying, if it's something different. So I love the fact that Alia Kabir is doing a lot of the mentorship work.
She's so awesome.
And she was really good on speaking about the support system, having that support system and the proper support system.
Like what does that support system look like, and how does your support system communicate to you? Are they saying things that are going to empower you, elevate you, remind you of who you are, what you should do, or so, and who isn't.
Right.
She talked about that too.
What does, I can't say toxic support system because they're not supporting you too well, but people who shouldn't be in that intimate circle.
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely. From watching your YouTube videos, I have gained more mindfulness about looking at the bigger picture. Yes.
Yeah.
As Coach Nyla says regarding my family. Jazakallah khair.
I mean, alhamdulillah. My co-wife have to read it because I can't see it.
Psychological women hate the thought of man loving two women, and it's more than not. And it just hurt knowing I have to start over because most women don't want to live righteous. Well, I'm pretty good. We're all Muslim here, and some of you may not be, but as a Muslim, I try to generally, and our family does, and Muslims should keep away from generalizations about men and women. But I mean, some of these things are warranted, and we know people are hurting. We get messaged often about triumphs and pain and hurt, and what to do and how to's and best practices, and we give out a lot of advice. And one thing I've learned is not to make blanket or general statements about what men do and what women do. Yes, there's a big difference on what we do and how we operate upon what we are doing and how we function and how our anatomy is different. And sometimes men don't just love two women. We're Muslim, our culture is Islam. They can have up to 4 wives, and they can love them all at the same time. And we talked about our children, and we'll talk about that more.
Yeah, expanding love.
Yeah.
Different things like that. So, and it's some things out there. We definitely talk about that as well in our training and our talk about what to look for, what to watch out for. And
we go into that.
Yeah, we definitely go into that. So alhamdulillah that you guys do see this example in my co-wife and I and our family as
love
well.
that. Yeah.
This was not something that, we said, this is what we're going to plan to do. This is how it's going to be.
Oh no, guys.
We're usually very private people.
Yeah.
The thing is that we have very big hearts, and we like people to live great lives, and we are very pro morals.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
when
We are
it comes,
huge.
yes. So when it comes, down to if we've seen injustice or we've seen a lot of issues that we can possibly help. I don't want to really say help fix but
Make it easier,
make
less
it
bumpy.
easier, then those are things that we look forward to doing.
Yeah, we didn't have that. We didn't have that as a family. Our husband didn't have that. We didn't have anyone to talk to about these issues. So it feels like a calling of ours to help others. If we know what helped us feel better or have a more fulfilling lifestyle within our own individual marriages, because again, Coach Nyla and I are not married to each other. Our husband is, our husband. He belongs to his Lord, but he's our husband. We all have our own journeys, our own stories, our own struggles within marriage and polygyny. So to help facilitate it being less bumpy for someone else or less of a trial or give some resources, that's what we do. All three of us help with that. And alhamdulillah, it's very humbling as well.
Yes, and you guys will hear so much from the sisters that the road that they are on now and what they are doing, it was not. Yeah, it wasn't the thing that they planned to do. They had other things. Yeah. So they didn't have so they didn't have that part.
Right.
That's not what they were doing.
Right.
The thing is that it was a calling.
We did not, I totally didn't plan to be up here doing this. And so for us, it's a very emotional thing to know where we were and where we are now, and hosting a summit with these amazing women is just, it's surreal. And alhamdulillah. And with it being Ramadan, it's just incredible how the summit came together, and it is during Ramadan. Guys, I just really sit in a place of humility, and I'm really humbled by the love that you've shown all of us. Yeah. I'm like, are they talking about us?
And it's so funny because that's the part, and we talk about that, of course, in the trade about that this was not that thing that we say, we're going. Okay, so we talked about this earlier in one of the discussions earlier about hosting a summit or wanting to do a summit. And excuse me. So my thing was, I did not expect, I'm like, okay, I want to do a summit. I want to empower women and this and that, because, OBR, it was Coach Nyla. And Coach Nyla was, doing that thing. Yes, but I never went out to do the summit. I'm an introvert. Even though people don't think that I am when they see me on, the videos or the trainings or anything like that, but because I'm very passionate about the trainings and the things that I do. But being out in the forefront, that's kind of, that's not my thing like that. Yeah. So, but I'm like, I want to do this thing because I'm passionate about it, and I want to do, help these women. I want to do this summit and da 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 da. I never ever thought that I would be doing a summit with my co-wife. I never thought that would be a thing, and I'm so excited about it. And we talk about, in our training, we talk about, like I said, co-wife connection. We said that before. We talk about co-wife connection and the stuff that we do, and how we've gotten to that point, because people look at us and they say, "Oh, I want that," or it's such an inspiration. Alhamdulillah, we are so grateful and so humble by that. But it took work.
It took years.
Work, and it took years.
Years of work.
Yes. It took personal development that we talk about. We talk about that in the training. We talk about it took, stepping out of our own way.
Yes.
to get there. And then we also talk about, polygyny and the misconceptions of the polygyny, and why it's a lot of conflict between co-wives anyway, because of polygyny misconceptions, as well as societal norms and what stuff's supposed to look like if one man is attached or connected or married to two or more women. So yeah.
Let's see, what does it say, guys? Hold on. Let's see. I was so not into polygamy, but I have come across an imam who was my teacher and has now I starting to cross, y'all. Proposed. He's already married. I'm getting used to it, but I have to say alhamdulillah. He's very loving. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Loving's good.
Yeah. Okay,
but,
so my thing is too. However, I think about the proposed part, and my mind always still go there with with the making sure things are still done right. That's that part. And we talk about that in the training as well.
Yeah.
About making sure things are done right, because that can be, are you connecting with each other through a third party? And,
there's a specific way,
especially being Muslim, of how to do this thing and do it right. Where it's, we don't do the girlfriend, boyfriend.
No,
we don't do the, and
dating.
I know people say fiance. I'm like, what does that mean? That's a thing where it's like, okay, or intended. I guess that's what I've heard words used as intended, but
or betrothed.
Yeah, and my thing is like, what does that mean? Are you, in the works of, doing the nikah, and you going back and forth with your wakil or your wali, that, because that's the proper way to do it. Inshallah.
Loving's good. We just want to make sure that the steps are taken
and they're done right.
Right.
So
I think that's the
So yeah, I'm looking forward to.
Just making sure.
I'm looking forward to ours too. Because when it comes down to it, we can clear up a lot of the misconceptions that they have.
Says, sisters know I talk to him directly on the phone because all the walis try to marry me. Sister. You want to go?
No, I said what
you just touched on that.
I touched on it, because you want to make sure things are done properly.
Yes.
People are people, adults are adults.
Yes.
Just want to make sure that you are following your deen, and your what you are doing is all right with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes.
Regardless of what we say or what we have to say or anything like that, you want to make sure that part is right.
Yeah.
I don't have to, what is it? We don't have to beat a dead horse.
No.
Where does saying even come from? I'm sorry. That was just
somebody
weird.
that tried to beat one.
Yeah. So, but the thing is that I wouldn't be the Muslimah that I need to be if I didn't state that part. My thing is,
we must tell you that, because we're Muslim women here.
So yeah.
And we have an obligation. We would do this for each other. If one of us knows something the other one does not, or we need a good reminder, we must do that. We're sisters outside of our husband. We're sisters in Islam, period. Because we got to think about that. Allah knows best, but if something happens to him, if something doesn't happen to him, we're still sisters. So if I need to hear something from Islam, my co-wife reminds me, and I do likewise for her and all our friends and family that we have that are Muslim and are willing to listen to sincere advice, inshallah. So we have to do that, as you said.
Exactly. So, alhamdulillah, I'm glad that you are joining us. I'm glad that you are joining us, learning.
Yeah.
I think as far as that, the thing is that we would not do anything. We would not do ourselves justice, our audience justice, our, our family, our YouTube family, our Facebook family, our family, our IG family, any justice if we were to, not be our true authentic selves.
If we right, and that's not giving our Islam justice.
Right.
So we have to do that.
So, yeah,
and we won't do anything other than that.
We are working on some things, so behind the scenes,
but we're
check
good.
A few things.
We're so happy you all are here and talking to us and invested in being a part of or participating in or learning from the summit. Again, make sure you all are grabbing a pen and a journal because you're going to want to look at your notes again. My co-wife and I have a library full of journals, me and her both, because one won't stop the other from buying a journal because we know we might have to have this information in our lives again. I think sometimes we think if we write something in a journal, we won't revisit it. But part of growth is taking the stuff out of your journal and looking at it again. You can't just leave it in there because part of personal development is being consistent with it. And a lot of it is in our journals. So please grab a journal for our next speaker, and we're just checking on a couple things and making sure everything is great for you all so you can continue to get the information and prayerfully get some gems from my co-wife and I.
Yes.
In a little while, though.
Yes. So, yes. So we are going to break for a little bit. Our next speaker is going to be on probably in about 10 minutes or so. But if you guys have to pray and everything like that, we're going to make sure that you get to do that. Okay. So, you're like, my gosh, I don't want to miss anything. So yes. So we'll make sure you guys, we're going to take a break in a minute. So we got to do our thing too. But if you are registered, make sure you go to the site that that you registered, that you got in the email, that link that you got in the email, make sure you go there. If you're not registered, register because it's not going to be playing on here. Right. So, we have the chat right now.
I see some more.
And we're going to check out some of the information that just rolled in, but make sure that you go register outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/summit to register. It's free. You can register right now. You can still register for this event. It's today and tomorrow. And you're not going to be able to rewind. There's no replay or anything like that. So you want to make sure that you are prepared. Make sure you have your pen, your notebook, all that other good stuff, because there's going to be some great information.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to miss it.
You definitely don't
want to miss it.
So, and then those who are already registered, make sure you guys go to the site or the link click the link, go to the site that you got in your email, because that's where the next speaker is going. You're going to see the next speaker on that site. Exactly. We are going to take a break. She should be on in about 10 minutes. So guys, give you guys some time to, make wudu, pray, or whatever you need to do, and get your notebook and pen and everything like that. And we will see you on the site at the summit. All right. Assalamu alaikum. Oh, wait a minute. We see a couple of things coming in.
Okay.
So real quick.
Polygyny is a lifestyle choice. Yes. And you have to be willing to do the work. Yes.
Okay. Growth mindset. Yes.
You ladies are amazing.
Alhamdulillah.
By Allah gets all the praise for that. Growth mindset, yes.
Okay, we're going to see you guys do that. So we're going to take care of what we need to take care of, and we will see you outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/summit. Make sure you register. All right, assalamu alaikum.
Peace. We should just roll this back. Alhamdulillah. Just roll.